I looking at? What even is this? I log in for the first time and you present me with a bunch of terrible characters? What am I supposed to... Am I supposed to choose one? Well, if I have to choose one, there's only one choice. It's the Chang! Going on, you guys? Theo here with the Big Review, back yet again with another King of Fighters All-Star video, and it is here. The winter update has arrived for 2020 and we are going to talk about it. But first, before we get into that, make sure if you haven't already done so, you like, you share, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a ton as a new YouTuber, and let's go ahead and get into it because there is a lot to talk about. So for those of you who may have missed my video that came out late last night breaking down the dev notes as well as the live stream with all those promo codes and the information on this update in there, I told you guys that we would try to take a little bit of a closer look in today's video, and that's exactly what we're going to go ahead and do. So I'm going to try and break it down as quickly as possible so this isn't a 20-30 minute long video. So let's just jump right into it. First things first, as you can tell, the UI completely overhauled. It looks phenomenal. It looks so good. Now, we had needed a UI overhaul for a long time. It had been pretty much the exact same from day one, and this is very nice. Now, the biggest thing about this as far as your home screen is concerned is now you can actually, down here, you'll see these little buttons. You can actually go in and change what characters you want to show on your home screen. So it's no longer just locked to whatever the last team you used was, which is really, really cool. You can also take a look at them in full screen, which is great. So overall, very, very nice. I will say that being that I've played this game literally every day since it released and got so used to the original layout that now that I am looking at something different, I was a little lost at first, but it's pretty streamlined. It looks really good. The other thing I want to talk about here that I can't really even show you, but you'll probably notice as we go through this video, it seems to me that the game runs extremely smooth compared to the way it used to. I don't know if that is just my connection today or what the case may be, but it seems like it's moving very, very nicely. So over here, you'll see this little glowing card here. This is now going to be where you will see a lot of your menu items like your codex, your friends list, forums, you can link your account, so on and so forth. So that is where all that is now. It actually gives you the time and the date over here now too, which is cool, I guess. So there's that. That's where all that is. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner is going to be where your usual menus are, like your fighters, your battle cards, your summons, your shop, all that good stuff. And then over on the lower right-hand corner, you're now going to have things like your exchange shop, your secret shop, your craft menu. So a lot of things that were kind of up here before, which this has changed also, guys, as you can see. So everything has been streamlined. A lot of the things that were up here are now on this front screen, so you can kind of get to them quicker, which is nice. You can tell that a lot of this update had more to do with trying to streamline things to the point where it felt like it took less time to do a lot of this stuff, which is nice. But the other thing I want to go ahead and talk about real quick that is on the home screen here, you may have been able to tell from the intro, you can now choose what character you want to be the focus of your super mission, which I don't know if that's going to be a one-time thing, although just judging from that menu from before where you picked the character, it seems like it may actually be something that we see going forward, but time will tell. But yeah, as you saw in the opening, I picked Mr. Chang here because why not? He's becoming the unofficial mascot for the channel, but there you go. There's your super mission. And you can see the rewards up here. It looks like we will get some capsule boxes, which is always nice. So yeah, just your usual super mission with your kind of now commonplace blue element gold memory for this one. Obviously, it'll change depending on what character you picked. So there you have it. So there is the kind of home screen layout. Not a lot has changed in the actual menus on your left-hand side, but if you go over to the right-hand side, you'll notice a lot has changed. So now when you go to dungeon, you will see your power-up dungeon, your advent dungeon, your challenge dungeon, your soul quests, all that good stuff. So all this stuff has now been kind of consolidated under the dungeon tab. And another big thing that I saw in this update that I want to bring up to you guys is, if you look here, first and foremost, we do have an event going on where you get extra XP. So for those of you who are maybe new or got in with 7 nights, if you need some extra XP, this is a good way to do it whenever there's an event like this, because you can go into these different kind of dungeons and farm and get kind of extra bang for your buck. But if you look over here, one thing I really wanted to talk about in this update, because I think it's really cool, is if you go to your, say for instance, your core dungeon, there are new difficulties added, and they are actually not too difficult as far as the CP requirements, so that's nice for some of you newer players or kind of lower level players. You'll still be able to do a lot of this, but I did these earlier. I was able to get a few rubies for doing it for the first time, but you'll notice now, it used to be, for the longest time, we could only do the highest difficulty on these dungeons 3 times a day. So for instance, if you were wanting some extra gold daily and you wanted to get the most that you could, then the expert, you could only kind of skip ticket it 3 times a day and then do the ad and you were done. Now, you can actually do this as many times a day as you want to, it appears. So this is really, really cool. Your grind is now a lot easier. You can farm a lot more efficiently. So I highly, highly recommend that you guys take advantage of this going forward. This is really cool. You can see here that the gold one, you're able to do that with as well. So very, very cool. Very, very nice. Love to see that happen. That's going to help out a ton, as I said. Now, you will probably notice, conspicuous by its absence, is the Tower of Trials. That's because the Tower of Trials has also moved, and I was really kind of confused at first. I was like, did they remove it? Well, they didn't remove it. It is still around. It's just under a completely different tab. So, but this is going to be kind of your different dungeons here. And then actually, if you go in here now, they're all kind of consolidated again. There's your Tower of Trials, but you'll see Reviving Hell's dungeon is over here. So all these different dungeons are going to be in their own spot. So that's really, really cool. It'll take a while to get used to, no doubt, but it's all there. So the next thing that I wanted to kind of talk about is, you will also see here the story. Epic Quest has moved to where the story tab is, and also your Christmas dungeon is going to also be in here. Now, we had already seen kind of the exchange shop for this with yesterday's video from the live stream, but going through here, these are going to be your clear rewards that you accumulate over time as you clear through this thing. And there's some pretty good stuff in here. There's Allstar summon tickets, there's going to be capsules, so on and so forth. And then the top prize is going to be a mystery box for imprint stones that you'll probably get a common stone out of and sell for gold. So there you go. But yeah, so this is going to be going on for, I believe, 14 days. So right now, as you can see, we have 6 days remaining before the SP unlock. So I wouldn't necessarily tell you guys to start kind of grinding this right now. Maybe wait until the SP comes out, just so that way you aren't wasting a lot of AP, but that's just my opinion. If you go to Epic Quest, this has also changed. As I had predicted, we did not get our Epic Quest update. That will probably come in the coming weeks. I didn't think it was necessarily quite yet ready. And it appears as if that is the case. So that is not here yet, but stay tuned. I'm sure it is going to be here very, very soon. Next thing I want to talk about, Silent Night, Elizabeth, Roulette. We knew this was coming. So you will see here the different prizes. It's pretty much the same as when we had the Halloween Gate Crasher. That is a tough word to say. Halloween Gate Crasher Chris Roulette. And it's going to have your capsule boxes, which is nice. That's a nice little consolation prize, a good way for people to get some extra caps. If you go into the craft menu now, you will actually see, if we go over here to items, that you can craft the Silent Night Elizabeth memory. So hopefully you guys were doing your soul quests for her in the weeks leading up. I did quite a bit for some of the other characters before I started on her, so I'm a bit behind with that, but that's okay. Not a huge deal, but make sure that you guys do your soul quests every day for those extra souls, because even if you are not planning on building her, the extra memories for just your invitations and things, especially now that we have all these 7 nights that we need to build, that's going to come in handy. As they had talked about in the dev note yesterday, we can now go ahead and craft these, which is really cool. So pretty neat. But yeah, so that is going to be the craft menu and your roulette. So as far as anything else here, let's go ahead and talk about very briefly here the buffs that happened for 2 characters, Neskio and then also Terry. So let's go ahead and start with Terry here. I'm not going to go through all of this because I talked about it already on yesterday's video, but I do believe that this Terry is now going to be very, very good. Do I think that he is necessarily going to be a PvE monster, which is obviously the bigger focus for this channel? Everybody does PvP, right? You know, so we focus on PvE here. It gives you guys something a little bit different and gives you some extra help in those areas. But as far as him being a PvE character, we'll see. Time will tell. I don't necessarily think he's going to be anything overly crazy. Now, he'll definitely be a good character. Don't get me wrong. I think he's going to be wonderful. But as far as being a top flight pick for some of these, say, Immortals or some of these other dungeons where you need a specific dot, maybe not so much. But he does have quite a bit of power charge now, so there is a chance that he would be maybe a good clock stopper. We'll have to wait and see. I'll do some testing with him. As you can see, mine's built up pretty well, so I'll probably go ahead and take a look at him here in the coming days and get back to you guys. A lot of this stuff I have not had a chance to mess around with yet, so I don't want to give you guys my full opinion because I don't really have one yet. Now, Kyo, on the other hand, I think I can pretty much summarize and say is going to be incredible for PvE. Being that he was already a very strong burn character already, yes, we don't necessarily need a lot of extra help with the burn, but being that he is a red balance type character, we already knew he was extremely good for things like Reviving Hell's Dungeon. I think he is probably going to emerge as a very, very good pick. His cooldowns on some of his skills still leave a little bit for me to be desired for me, but overall, he's really good. That is a minor nitpick. So we'll see. I'm going to, like I said, go ahead and play with these guys a little bit, and I will get back to you guys on what I think whenever I can kind of test them. So, but right now on the surface, they look very good. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the new stuff that was released. If I can find it here in the first try, I will be shocked. But I'm still very confused by some of this stuff. So this is going to be Catch the Little Thief. As you can see here, those are going to be some of your rewards. I haven't done this yet. But you'll see we do get capsule boxes, and they're actually selection boxes, which is really nice. So that is what kind of you're chasing when you're doing this. But I would assume that you can pretty much get through this thing with anybody, really, because considering the fact it's a 5,000 CP kind of requirement, I'd assume it's probably not anything too crazy. We'll go ahead and do it real quick. I'm sure we can get through it fast. And then we'll go ahead and talk about the last couple of things that we need to go over, which will be in the summon pool. I am so hyped for that. You guys have no idea. I'm so excited for Big Jenet to have a FES character, and she actually looks really, really good. So we'll see. I have not. I'm going to wait and see on her for maybe a day or two. Try and round up and talk to some friends about what they think of her. But just on the surface right now, looking at her, I think she's going to be really good. So this is the new little Catch the Little Thief dungeon. And you can do this once a day, it looks like, and just get some extra gold, which is nice. They've been giving us and been very generous with the gold lately, so... Which, by the way, speaking of gold, there was a lot of it in those codes yesterday. If you guys did not do those codes, make sure that you enter those in from the stream. If you need to find them, they're in yesterday's video. But I actually have a timestamp in that video showing you where to go to get to those. But basically, make sure you get those in today because they will only be good through today. So there is your rewards for this. Looks like we got 3 of the XP or the capsule selections, which is nice. So very cool. You can do that once a day, so not anything too crazy. And then, actually, we can do this 3 times a day. Look at that. And you can't auto-clear it. Well, rip. We'll do that later. You would think that if they want you to save time, they'd let you auto-clear something like that, but I digress. So, in the challenge dungeon here, again, if we can find it on the first try, I'd be surprised. Oh, look at that. Maybe we should give ourselves more credit. So, this is going to be the Holiday Chang kind of relay challenge here. Now, you do get a nice buff, apparently, if you're using the Holiday Fighters, which I'm probably just going to zerg through it with my good characters, but these are your rewards here. You're going to see some gold hammers, not as many as I would like to see, but they're there. But you do get some XP caps, but for whatever reason, they keep doing this where it's only tiers 1 through 3, which, whatever. And then here, skip tickets are actually going to be your rewards for your best record. So that's kind of cool that you see skip tickets in there, I guess. Sure. But anyway, that is going to be that dungeon, I'd imagine, and I will do a run on it and kind of post it probably in tomorrow's video or something. But I'm not going to do it right this second, but I'm sure it's fairly simple, like most of these special ones are for those. But as far as time attack goes, nothing right now, but that is going to be on a schedule, so we'll have to wait for that. But yeah, nothing else to talk about in there, really. I think that pretty much covers that. So, as far as the summons, let's go down here. So, we did get some new cards, and we got, of course, my girl, Jenet. First, let's talk about the cards. So, if you go in here, we have a new option card that increases critical rate by 2.5%, increases critical damage by 7%, and then increases poison and darkness damage dealt by 20% for 10 seconds upon landing a critical hit. So, I already want this card for several reasons. I really want to try it out with the Tekken set on my Dellons, and I want to see how that does. I really am curious. I am very happy with the set from the Seven Knights collab on him for the guild raid, but at the same time, I want to try this out, so I'm curious. But it looks fun. It looks like a good card. It looks like it may be useful for certain kind of challenges and raids, so time will tell. I'll have to get it and play around with it. But then we have this new set. Looks like increases attack by 6%, and then increases penetration by 800, and a 30% chance to gain super armor for 3 seconds upon using an active skill with a cooldown of 15 seconds, with a 50% chance to deal extra damage equal to 100% of attack to target upon landing an active skill. So this looks like it's a pretty good set overall. It looks actually pretty strong. Now, I think it's probably going to be more of a PvP set, and yes, it is not a FES set, unfortunately, so you don't get that extra CP out of it. However, this seems like it's really good for PvP. So, for those of you guys who PvP, let me know what you think of it if you get it and try it out. And if you do, at least you get to have a set that has, not that, that's nightmare fuel, but a super cute Goro, and then Yuri, who, yeah. Anyway, those are the new cards. I definitely think the option card probably shines here, but I could see the set being pretty good for PvP. Probably not much for PvE, but I could be wrong. I'd have to kind of mess around with it. So let's take a look at the best part of this whole update, in my opinion. If you can't tell, I'm kind of simping for this. I love her. I love Jenet, always have. So Winter Love Messenger Jenet. So we talked about her yesterday briefly. She increases Green Element Fighters' attack by 45% and power charge rate by 20%. So therefore she has one of the best leadership skills in the game for Green right now. And that power charge rate for a character like Gonitz or a character like Shane is going to be silly. Going to be real silly. She's a balance too, so she's going to have a little bit less of the glass cannon makeup to her, which is nice. Let's go ahead and look at her cores. So in her cores, she has 20% power charge rate increase, which is fantastic. And then if you look down here, she has Winter of the Pirates, 100% chance to reset the cooldown of Baffles upon landing behind. Cooldown 15 seconds, and then decreases damage received by 85% for 4 seconds when attacked on a cooldown of 15 seconds. So that's really, really strong. Being able to reset a skill specifically being that she has 2 different sources of dot on 2 different skills. That is really, really good. And then decreasing damage received by 85% is extremely strong as well. Again, I think she's going to be a little bit tankier than a lot of people might assume. And then she has Stay Warm, where she gains 30% power when her combo count is 10 or above on a cooldown of 20 seconds, and increases chill and shock damage by 60%. And then her PvP exclusive is a 100% chance to ignore the target's guard upon landing an active skill as a critical hit. And that is a cooldown of 12 seconds. So, yeah, she's good. I think she's going to be strong. You know, obviously it's way too early to be able to give you guys much of a definitive answer on this. On the surface, though, she looks very strong. I do like her cores quite a bit. She does have kind of, you know, the 6% blast skill attack damage increase is kind of whatever. But overall, her 2 exclusives, and then having the 20% power charge rate increase on top of, if she's already the leader, getting her power charge rate increase there. She seems really, really strong in general for the green pool. I kind of wish she wasn't a green balance, but whatever. I'll take what I can get. I still love her. So her skills. First one, her S1 is going to be Baffles, which is the one that resets. It is going to apply Cold Spell for 6 seconds to target upon a successful attack. And then she also deals additional damage equal to 200% of attack upon landing a skill on a shocked target. So if you're wondering where her shock comes from, well, that is going to be later on here. So we'll get to that. Then you have Dehind. Deals shock damage equal to 32% of attack to the target every 1 second for 7 seconds upon landing a skill. There it is. Deals additional damage equal to 200% of attack upon landing a skill on a chilled target. Yeah. So that is going to be the one that resets the first skill that applies the chill. Yeah, she looks strong. I like her a lot. I could just be fanboying, but she looks very strong in my opinion. There's a lot of things I need to look at before I can make that call, but and then Harrier B, she's going to gain Hyper Armor, which we all know what that is, for 3 seconds, and then freezes the enemy for 2 seconds upon landing a skill, guard included. Nice. So let's go ahead and go to skill preview. Her specials did not get updated. She did not get a 3 PG card. You're still going to be stuck with the one she already had. So that has not changed. So there's that Fireball. If you guys remember back, if you watched my Reviving Hell's Dungeon guide, I believe it was part 2? Part 2 maybe? But I believe in that one I had told you guys that as far as red balance gold borders that may or may not be useful for you if you're on a budget, I mentioned that the other Jenet was in there. So she was already a decent character for a gold border, you know, as good as those can be. But these skills look very similar. However, I do think they seem to be a little bit quicker. Her thing with the gold border character, she's a little bit slow. But these don't look like they're anything super fast. They don't have any frame zero animations or anything like that, but we will see. I'm not sure about any off the grounds or anything like that, but and then we can go ahead and take a look at her specials real quick here, and then we're going to end the video. I think that'll pretty much cover most everything I wanted to talk about today. But yeah, so B Jenet, if you guys don't know, some of my favorite characters are from Fatal Fury in general because I love Fatal Fury. I specifically love Garu. I really want this character. I like her a lot. I'm probably going to be pulling. I don't have a whole lot of rubies, but I do have quite a few tokens. I have quite a few tokens. In fact, if we look here, I have 58 of these tokens, and then I have, I believe, 2 of the 10 times summon ones. So here in the next day or two, we're probably going to be pulling for her. I'm thinking maybe as a Christmas video, but stay tuned. But yeah, I definitely want her. Hopefully I don't get shafted, because that'd make me big sad. But yeah, guys, I think that pretty much covers the majority of this stuff. Obviously, if you look at the dev note and the patch notes for this, there's quite a bit that was kind of changed in the background, whether it be, you know, maybe a bug here or, you know, maybe a UI tweak here. But really, for the most part, before we go, one last thing I do want to talk about. I was about to say, for the most part, I think we've covered it all, but there's one last thing I do want to talk about. So if you go in here to Infinite Battle, there's now only one Infinite Battle. I love this because it appears, and we don't know 100%, but I think we're about 90% sure, it looks like to compensate, they did up the Ruby rewards. So therefore, there is a very good chance that this is actually going to turn out better in general. In fact, I can go ahead and look here. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like the rewards were upped to compensate. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head the exact numbers, but I do know that I was generally pulling close to 2K per week doing both infinite battles, so looks like these were upped. So that is a way they're compensating for that. I'm kind of glad that they got rid of the other one, although now rip to the resources I put into some of those gold border characters for that 1 week where I couldn't use my AS characters or my collab characters. F in the chat. Anyway, championship, that has also changed. I couldn't tell you exactly what all has gone on here, but championship changed. And that is pretty much it, guys. Yeah, I think that covers everything that we need to talk about, at least the pressing stuff. I could go into the packages and things if you guys really wanted me to, but I mean, it's up to you. I don't like sitting here telling you guys how to spend money. If you're a big fan of FES Jenet, I don't know, maybe I'll get some Christmas Google Play cards and we might get one of these. We'll see. It is coming. But she'll actually be, I believe, the rate up for the next week, so that does put her on a bit of a timer for me. We'll have to wait and see. I prefer pulling characters when they're at 1% rates, because obviously you need memories, so we'll see. But anyway, guys, this video is 26 minutes and 11 seconds as I'm talking right now, so I'm going to get done with this. It's a huge update if you can't tell. This is a quick rundown of everything that I could fit in here for now. I think we got all the major points, but make sure that you guys jump in here, claim your rewards, play this. It looks great. I love it. So I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe if you want more daily content from this channel. And I appreciate all of you. Enjoy the update, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Continue.